Hey Sam, based on our discussion yesterday, I just put together I reviewed the notes and had some early ideation to kind of put together some of the parts we were talking about. The focus, as you mentioned, was identifying the new alerts display. We'll jump to that. Um, and adding the new container host statistics display, and then generally just improving the UX to make room for some of the upcoming additions. So that was my focus. They had some relationships, so I wanted to just put together some ideation of where those relationships were and how we might be able to tie them together. So first, just want to walk through kind of like the existing UX and how I was thinking about it. So when we're landing on this page, and I just adjusted this to kind of a standard laptop size. So when we're landing on this page, the data that's here is not fully and immediately visible. And so when we scroll down, we kind of see the bigger picture of the chart and so on. This isn't ideal, especially as we're adding new data points, and we'd have 3 charts altogether. We're not gaining additional utility by having this chart 100% width. So if we had another one here, 100% width, and then another one, it's a lot of scrolling on the user, and there's not much additional utility, because you could see this chart scaled down to mobile, and it would still tell a very similar story. Even that change, that doesn't change the story that we're seeing, for example, there. So that's an opportunity. Especially since we're having multiple different charts that could be here. And these blocks are just kind of pushing the clutter down, or pushing the charts even further down for that initial problem of not seeing everything on a page. So those were some of the things that I took a look at here. Just taking a look at this page, just some basic HTML and CSS tweaks on the containers with these charts. And with this revised layout, it's removing the large blocks of clutter, and the upside here is the most important data, these 2 charts that we have, are moved immediately to the top, and they're visible without scrolling. This is also consistent with the metrics board that we see here. So I think they did a good job at displaying more data in a more dense area. So let's just take a look too and how some of these other parts could come together. So this is just showing a view here with the 3 of them. So we could have a sort of like a stack chart here. One of the questions that I have here is what are some other data points that are similar to these charts that we might see coming down the road, just to kind of help us think about this layout a little bit more in this way. Kind of designing for the future of it. This is just a case where the network policies are not yet installed, so it's kind of setting the expectations of where it would live. Again, by having this the WAF chart there, it doesn't lose utility by being scaled down. So I think that's worth noting. The display is still clear, as you can see it there. And then tying in alerts. So thinking about alerts and the overview page and everything with the layout changes, we do have an opportunity where it could all be just on one page like we see here. Especially since the MVC for alerts is just the name and the date that it was triggered. We have more than enough room to start having like a little mini table here. And naturally, as that evolves and as we continue to iterate on this page, we can break it out as needed. But from an information architecture standpoint, it definitely made sense that it's in this area now, since it's unrelated to any secure features, and it's just getting data fed from the Cilium setup. So all in one page, the user lands here, they can see the charts and the alerts all in one go, without having sort of separate pages and separate clicks, and I feel a little bit better about having alerts here on this page versus like separating it out into another tab, because these are things that we really want to have front and center is how I'm understanding it. Yeah, so anyway, that's a quick walkthrough. Just give me some thoughts that you have on this direction, and can start getting into a little bit higher fidelity to see how this might look like with this layout. Thanks.